This is probably my most nerve-wracking video, to say the least, because, well, hi friends, I need your help, and I'm gonna lay out a case for you. The problem is I might be too convincing for my own good. If I'm not convincing enough, well, that's okay, but let me just catch you up to speed. That's okay. So, thank you for opening the email. Thank you for your well wishes, reaching back out to me. Ever since I put up the video, I've had a couple of old friends reach out to me, which has felt really good. What I need help with is some pretty big ideas. So, surprise, I was gone for a year, and in that time, I basically relaxed as much as I could, and I resisted having this conversation. So, I'm going to try to slow down a little bit because this is not an easy conversation to have because one of my it's hard for me to ask for help. I'll just say it like that. It's hard for me to ask for help. I feel very prideful in that respect. And I'm reaching out to you and putting this on the internet because I need help. Now, the punchline is I need to know what you think I should do. And maybe if anything, you just say, hey, I believe in what you're doing. Or participate, contribute, connect me with the right person. But I'm reaching out to the thousands of emails, the thousands of people, both individually, but also I'm trying to have a conversation in a group format so I can check off all the bases at the same time. Because this is not an easy thing to talk about. So, what I'll encourage you to do is to visit my YouTube channel, and you'll see a series of links to some artificial intelligence domains that are prime for supporting. So what I've been doing is, when I left R&D in August, September of last year, I took a nice mental health break and I sat on these ideas, unfortunately, and as I predicted then, there's going to be changes in the marketplace and illusions in the marketplace. But now it's sort of everyone's talking post-economic theory this, disruption to labor that, and everyone's trying to write a book or start a podcast. I'm trying to prevent people from starving, and I'm trying to do it fairly for everybody. And you guys trusted me for all those years. If I can just get a bit personal with you, if I can ask you a really hard question to help, that's the hard question, is to help, maybe I'll be convincing. Or not. If anything, I think just a kind thought will go a long way. Because I know this is being sent to a lot of people I respect dearly. So I'm willing to humiliate myself and humble myself to ask you to help me because what I'm doing is I'm thrashing. What I'm doing is I'm trying to do this on my own. And that's part of me not talking out loud, part of me not saying, part of me not asking for help is I'll sit in this room, I'll write and write and write, but I won't ask for help. And what's important is that in the post-labor economy, people are going to, in the transition, I went to the grocery store today and, this young lady, she asked what I was doing today and I sort of just laughed and said, oh, I'm trying to think of, post-labor economic theory. The glaze went over her eyes and I was like, oh, AI is going to take your job. And then the first thing she said was, and we're all going to be poor. That just broke my heart. That in what is now, what is the greatest scientific discovery ever, and this little lady, with the prospect of ending forced cognitive labor, casually said we're all going to be poor and out of a job and lose our houses. So shame on the scientific community, the technology community, the consulting, information technology community. Shame on us for not inspiring hope we built a device that probably feels more like an atomic bomb and less like a cure for cancer. So let's do something about this. So what I need, I guess what I've been doing is I need to get this off my chest. And I need to get your help. This is not easy for me to do this. It's my pride, my fear, and my shame. Those are psychological, social fictions meant to entrap me. No more. So, let's negotiate. The way I see it is, here's the circumstances and here are the options I have. Okay? So, I purchased a bunch of artificial intelligence domains in the last year. I also possess pretty good inside scoop on the future with AI. I own the future with .ai. I own maybe 20 AI domain names. I own domain names that have their own worth of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm just a person, just a single person, and I'm also exhausted. Sitting here and thinking about and reading 100-year-old economic books, having existential breakdowns about what the labor market's going to do, and knowing that I possess at least an idea, one of many, knowing that my government isn't saying anything, knowing that every time you have this conversation with someone, 5 minutes later they're going to tell you about their cool app idea, and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, did you not hear me say the end of suffering? And in fact, my good friend of mine is reaching out right now to prisoner advocate nonprofits because I picked up saferprison.ai, and I concepted an idea to reduce the suffering in prisons using artificial intelligence. I'm just going to give that domain away. So why sit on these? Why try to, all the tech oligarchs are saying there are going to be millionaires made. I want to hear people say we're going to have less families suffering, less parents abusing children, less instances of manipulation and trauma and violence and suffering. Oh, I own insuffering.ai as well. We'll get to that. What I need your help with is, do you want fame? Do you want prestige? Do you want money? Whatever you want, it's here. So what I want is help. What I need is a team. I need someone to take this from me and work with me that has means and a team. I need leaders, followers, developers, designers, systems architects, consultants, lawyers, strategists, copywriters. I need people interested in working on endwork.ai, sharewith.ai, and Community Gardens AI. And what you get is, you get whatever you want. Do you want to be the owner of these? Do you want to be the founder, lead champion? Do you want the notoriety? Do you want your name to be written in history books, Achilles? What do you want? Because it's here. There's probably not a lot of money in the ending work industry. There's probably not a lot of money in the sharing, algorithmically shared assets industry. There's definitely no money in community gardens. And these are easy things to build. They just need a leader. They need supporters. They need backers. Okay? So in exchange for finding someone who wants to do good things, I will incentivize you with what you presently think are good things. Because these things will end to this. Okay? But the good news is that you get to participate in something that after this is gone, well, you're making this. You're making the difference. Okay? So we'll use marketingwith.ai if you'd like to own a marketing with AI domain name and do some a marketing landing page. If you want to if you're a website development company or an agency that wants to have a pretty awesome domain name, if you want to make this a squeeze funnel, if you want to, whatever you think you can do with it, there you go. That's my trade. I also possess, and these will require NDAs, what are probably going to be, I don't want to say the two remaining, because there's going to be a lot of things remaining in the new economy, but these are two post-labor economic theory businesses that are good for humanity. But if we have to suffer through wealth, these are going to hold on. This one is, I propose a system to, this is abstraction.ai. I propose a system to basically change the entire internet. This is huge. I also propose a cognitive behavioral therapy project management tool for post-labor economics that is also quite motivating and fun. So this is the new Duolingo for task list. This is probably a couple $100,000 a month mobile app. So do you want to help out? Because this, I was pulling up a leads list today. So let me tell you the arc, just full transparency. I actually held up a sign. Went in front of Walmart and held up a sign. And it said endwork.ai. Come to my conference. And no one looked. Everyone looked away. The irony of holding up a massive sign, an 8-foot by 3-foot sign that says endwork.ai in front of people driving in front of Walmart. So holding up a sign doesn't work, okay? So here are my options. So you guys are my number one option. So thanks for hanging out with me. So as I see it, and if you have other ideas, I would love a phone call. I can reach out to mission-aligned, non-governmental organizations, because clearly and I encourage you to watch these videos before you reach out to me, because everything is explained on how these function. But basically the government is absent right now, but we don't really need the government. We can have a ground-up movement that supports us in this AI transformation. There are a lot of non-governmental organizations, some pretty weird ones too, that would love to help me with this. So I will reach out to them next. If you think this is the best way to approach it, there's degrowth, post-growth, environmental, there's some isms, groups, there's international groups, someone will want to help me with these. I hope. My next option is as I rightly called it, the industry is moving towards a zero-sum commodification for technology. Now, the irony of me needing developers now is that if I wait for the I could probably wait 6 months on this, and these could be built. But we need economists, scientists, AI scientists, researchers. Like, we're going to build the infrastructure behind what is next. I'm not going to prompt engineer this. I'm not going to risk it. I could, but then that's me just doing this by myself, and I don't want to do this by myself. So the goal is there's probably going to be some 20-person dev teams out there, stateside, that are looking at all of their customers and saying, wait a minute, our customers are now prompt engineering their Figma websites instantly. So I'll reach out to some dev teams and I'll say, hey, do you want to help build these and fund these? And in exchange, you can also build these, and this is just going to be massive amounts of money for them. Option C, the wife didn't like this. I like this because it makes me feel cool. I'm going to be honest with you, this one makes me feel pretty cool. But did you know, this is sort of like the Leonardo da Vinci approach of, if there is among my friends, someone who's a multimillionaire, who does anything better to do, wants to have their name in the history book, who wants to fund the building of a small, scrappy, independent team, we'll need to find a leader. I mean, I'm going to be the guy in the background with all the ideas, but you'll have to build out a team with me, and then if you're patient enough, we can get this going. Oh, and they'll get to have access to these. Okay? So my three options is I pretty much just give these things away to NGOs, and it's pretty spread out. I'm going to reach out to a bunch of dev teams that are going to collapse, and because that's my background, I'm going to convince them to do this. Or I'm going to find a patron to support this. I'll make some buck on the side. We'll watch as the economy changes over the next decade. And yeah. So here's the truth. I'm not as good as I once was. I mean, I look at the presentations I wrote. I look at the Figmas I made. I look at the strategies I ideated. And I've gone around and I've looked at your websites. All of the clients I had, all of my partners, I've looked at your websites, and I just sit there and I reminisce and I admire and I think about all the good times that we had. And I was very capable. But it's hard for me to focus. It's hard for me to ask for help. And it's absurd for me to just sit on these by myself. But maybe you can help me. So I encourage you to watch these videos. Here's the carrot. Or maybe this is the carrot. Here's the cake. So what's next? So what's next is I'm going to take off next week. I'm going to publish this video, take off next week, send this email, reach out to you guys. You'll watch it. You'll be like, what happened to that dude? So what's going to happen next is that I'm going to keep going. I'm going to persevere. I'm not going to give up on this. Right now, I'm going to go take a nap.